Hello, hello! Welcome to this live English lesson here on the Speak English with Vanessa YouTube channel. Thank you so much for taking time out of your precious day to improve your English skills. I hope that this lesson will encourage you and help to boost your skills today. I see that we already have 113 people here live, and we have only been live for 27 seconds. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to start off by asking you a question. Let me know in the chat box where you're from. Tell me where you're from, and I'd like to take a look. Probably have friends from all over the world. And while you're doing that, I'll tell you where I'm from. I'm from the United States, and right now I live in the state of North Carolina, which is on the East Coast. So I live in the beautiful mountains here of North Carolina, and it's a very hot summer day right now. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I see we have Ruby from Thailand. Hello, thanks for joining me. We have Carla in Brazil. Thanks for joining me. Hello, hello. Ontario, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I see we have Rosie in Ecuador. Thank you so much. All around the world, all different time zones, all different backgrounds. You're here. Simone in Brazil. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, before we go on to my next question, I want to encourage you today to participate. This is a live lesson. This is really me here live. And I would like for you to answer my questions in the chat box. I'm going to be trying to read some of your questions, read some of your answers, and this is a good chance to use what you're learning. So I'm going to ask you my next question, which is very tricky. What is the hardest part about speaking in English? Tell me for you, what is the hardest part about speaking in English? Write it in the chat box. Try to be active. This is a live lesson. That's the benefit of being live. Let me know in the chat box, and I will read your answers. I know for a lot of my students, a really tricky part about speaking in English is just finding someone to speak with. Because it's great to be able to speak to yourself in your house and talk about what's going on around you. I often recommend doing that. Oh, look over here, there's a light out the window, the birds are chirping. But it's really extra motivating when you can speak with someone. But you know what? That's hard. It's hard to find someone to speak with. So maybe for you, that's the hardest part about speaking in English. May says it's hard not translating from your mother tongue. Absolutely. In your brain, your native language is going and you're trying to translate into English. It takes time. You hesitate. Maybe you don't find the right word. It just doesn't feel like fluency because you're translating. Organizing your thoughts in English. Organizing my thoughts in English is the very hardest parts. Yeah, you got a lot going on. What's the right grammar? What's the right vocabulary? How do I even say what I want to say? Trying to organize your thoughts is really tricky. I see Mani says grammar's the hardest part. Yeah, and you know what? I think grammar is one of the hardest parts probably of uh, any language that's not at all similar to your native language. Trying to figure out how to organize words without thinking about it, without translating, without hesitating too much, and also being confident while you do that. That is extremely tricky. Uh, Journey Never Ends says, the hardest part for me is building expressions in English. Okay, vocabulary. And yes, if you don't have the right words, you're not going to say what you need to say. So having a good base of vocabulary is essential. While it says the lack of confidence is the hardest part about speaking in English. Yeah, and this is really a mind game, isn't it? You can study all the vocabulary in the world, but if you lack confidence, when it comes time to speak, if you have an English coworker who comes up to you and says, "Hey, Wellen, how was your weekend?" And then you just freeze, maybe you know all the right vocabulary, but that lack of confidence is going to stop you from speaking fluently in English. So thank you for sharing that, Wallet. That is a very relatable issue. A lot of English students and anyone learning any language really relates to that fear, the fear of saying the wrong thing, not knowing what to say, just that confidence in yourself. So now I have a possibly more positive question. How would your life change if you could speak English clearly and confidently? How would your life change? Would it change for the better? Which is a great English expression. That means it is going to get better. My life would change for the better if I could speak English clearly and confidently. Well, how? Would you get a better job? Would you be able to travel easily? Maybe you could even speak to your grandkids because they speak English. Let me know, how would your life change? What things would happen in your life? What dreams would be accomplished if you could speak English clearly and confidently? Hmm. Oh, I see a great one. I would be able to find a better job. Of course, for the better. Yes. That's why you're here, Ibrahim. Of course, learning English will help you to get a better job. Olga says the same thing, a promotion at work. So, really, you're learning English so that you can get a promotion, make more money, probably get a job that maybe fits you better if that's something that is a position that interests you more than your current position. So this can enhance your life if you can speak English clearly and confidently. Great. Oh, I see Molly also said, get a better job. Excellent. Yes. So there's a lot tied in here with your career. Being able to speak English can help you advance your life. Oh, a slightly different answer. I would be able to live in the US. Okay, so yes, you would get a job in the US, but daily life, that is the key. You would be able to go to the grocery store. You would be able to make friends. You would be able to have a dinner party with friends here, share your language, your culture, your food with them, and speak in English together. That could be a terrifying thing if you had no clue about English. But here you are interested and passionate about improving your English skills. So you would like to get a better job, live in the US, possibly travel to New York City and be able to enjoy a tour in English, be able to connect with other people. So, um, I would like to share something with you. I would like to present a solution to you to help you be able to get a promotion, be able to live in the US or travel easily. If you can speak English fearlessly and fluently, that is when your promotion is possible. That is when you are able to live in the US. Imagine if you could sit at that dinner table with other English speakers and you're laughing with them, enjoying spending time with them because you're not lacking confidence. You are fearless and you're able to express yourself because you have the grammar, you have the vocabulary that you need to be able to express what you want. That is wonderful. And it is not just a pipe dream. Do you know what a pipe dream is? A pipe is a long tube, and when you look down that tube, everything seems so far away. So if we say it is a pipe dream, it means it's not possible. But I want to tell you that speaking English fearlessly and fluently is not a pipe dream. It is possible. So many of my students have joined my course, the Fearless Fluency Club, and they have begun to speak English fearlessly and fluently. And today I would like to offer you a gigantic discount on the course. It is $550 off. Unbelievable. This course is including so many lessons for over 5 years. Unbelievable. And for you, I would like to offer you $550 off. So you can go to speakenglishwithvanessa.com/live and you will get the discount for joining me here during this live lesson. Um, we will take a look at it later. We will go into the course, but first I would like to talk to you about how it works because you might be thinking, well, yeah, Vanessa, I've tried to become a fearless speaker. I've tried to become a fluent speaker. Why is this different? How will this work? Is this actually going to work for me. So I would like to go through the steps of how the Fearless Fluency Club works, and you can see for yourself if it will work for you. So, this course is only for students who would like to express themselves easily. Would you like to express yourself easily? Would you like to have the words you need when you want to speak? You want to improve quickly without wasting time. Of course, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and have fluent English in your mind because learning anything of value takes time. But we will not be wasting any time. You will be following a path. I will be guiding you on that path so that you can reach your goal of becoming fearless and fluent. And I think most importantly is this final step right here. I can show it to you right here is you will be learning to speak real English. So many of you have learned English in the classroom, and that's great for the basics. But once you can get beyond the basics, if you can understand me right now, you are not an absolute beginner. You understand enough to start learning real English. This is what people use in real life, in real situations. It's not those robotic conversations that you learned in the classroom. It's real English. I imagine many of you have had the experience. If you have traveled to an English-speaking country, you stepped out of the airport, got into a taxi, and thought, oh my goodness, everyone here is speaking so much faster, so much differently than I learned in school. Is this the same language? Well, that's because you were learning classroom English, and in the Fearless Fluency Club, I will teach you real English. This is what I focus on in my free YouTube lessons. I always want to teach you how people really speak, and that will help you to be able to speak in that way as well. And that's what we focus on in the course is real English. So let's take a look at what some of my students in the Fearless Fluency Club have said. Ildiko says, this course is fantastic. I like the most that you teach us real English. Thank you, Ildiko. That's my goal, and I'm so happy that you're having that experience too. And Yuko says, I think there are no other courses which deal with real conversations of ordinary people. Yes, and you might be wondering, how do you deal with real conversations of ordinary people? We'll take a look at that in just a moment. I'm so glad that Yuko is enjoying the course. She says, there are a lot of friends from around the world. I love the content very much. Excellent. And Helly says, this is the best course I've ever had. Wow, Helly, you're very kind. I like the way you teach, and now I feel confident to talk in English. Here's the goal: being confident to speak in English. You probably aren't going to have absolutely 100% perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation all the time. That's okay. What you need is the confidence to speak in English and to know that you're expressing yourself in the right way. So let's go through the different steps of how the Fearless Fluency Club works so that you can see if it will work for you. And if you feel like this is a good fit for you, I recommend going to speakenglishwithvanessa.com/live so that you can get the $550 discount, which is closing today. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But first, let's go through the course and see how it works. Step 1, you are going to watch real English conversations. In this course, this is my huge unlimited pack of the Fearless Fluency Club. You will watch over 75 fascinating topics, including 75 different English speakers. It's great to understand my voice, but as you know, you might be able to understand me, but you can't understand TV shows and movies. So this course will take you to the next step. I have a conversation with someone else, and you could probably understand me and what I'm saying, but 50% of the conversation is the other person. So this is taking it beyond my YouTube lessons, which is usually just me, sometimes my husband. And in this course, you will challenge yourself to understand 75 other people. This is huge. Accents all over the US, different styles of speaking, different ages. This will challenge you to be able to speak and understand all of these people. There are lots of different topics. With over 75 topics, there is something for everyone. I just put a little sample here. We'll take a look inside the course in a minute. But I just put a little sample here. There are conversations about massage, meditation, money, music, being a paramedic in the hospital system. This is just a short sample of the 75 topics, but you will be able to really immerse yourself in all of these topics. Step number 2 is not just to watch the conversation. That's great. That's interesting. But you need to be able to use what's in the conversation. So we break down the conversations and we will study the vocabulary, the phrasal verbs, and the pronunciation used in that conversation. This will help you to catch the meaning of the conversation, use it yourself, and really be able to break down real English conversations and not just have that input, but you will also be able to break it down so that you can output and use it, which we'll see in step number 3. But first, before we go to step number 3, I have a very important question for you. This is true for me, so I wonder if it's true for you. Have you ever had a difficult time staying motivated to learn English? Life is busy. We have a lot going on. For me, I have 3 kids now. I have this job teaching you English. I have a husband. I have a home. I have 2 cats, 11 chickens. My life is very busy. So I sometimes have a difficult time staying motivated when I'm trying to do something new. So I'm curious for you, have you ever had a difficult time staying motivated to learn English? Let me know in the comments if that's true for you, because it's important. If you have the goal, I want to become fearless, I want to become fluent. Well, you can't just study for 2 days. You have lots of motivation and then your motivation drops off. If you have a difficult time staying motivated, you're not alone. I want to help you maintain motivation. We'll see how to do that in step number 3 in just a moment. But I think yes. Sarah says yes. Song says yeah. Difficult time staying motivated. A very difficult time with me, Tran says, to stay motivated. Well, I imagine if you're having difficulties staying motivated, Mani says, I faced difficulties before, but after watching your lessons, my motivation has increased. Great. Excellent. And this is one of the ideas here, is that if you have a difficult time staying motivated, this is probably because you're not using what you're learning in the real world. For me, when I am learning French, which is my second language of choice, if I just read books, listen to podcasts, it's okay, it's interesting, but sometimes my motivation will drop off because I wonder, what's the point? It's fun for me, but when life gets busy, I don't stay motivated. So in order for you to stay motivated to learn English, you need to use it, and that means speaking with other people. There is nothing like a deadline to get you motivated. So a lot of my students in the Fearless Fluency Club, let's look at step number 3, join the community for weekly live lessons. Every Sunday, I host a live lesson in our private group for course members, and we practice vocabulary, phrasal verbs, pronunciation. We practice this every Sunday. And many of my students have been joining me faithfully for years, every Sunday. I think this is a great motivation to know, okay, Sunday's coming up. Oh, I need to study the English lesson before the live lesson. You know, there's a little deadline. So you can stay motivated in our private group to join the weekly live lessons. And extra motivation, many members speak with each other every week. There are Zoom speaking groups, and this is another great deadline. Songhui says, I'm eager to learn and make every effort, but when I speak with a person, I feel less fluent than I expected. Yeah, so you have this expectation, and then when you speak, you realize, I don't know as much as I thought I knew. So where's a safe place that you can practice speaking? Because that feeling, oh, I think I know how to speak, and then you try and you realize, I don't know as much as I thought. That's a really difficult feeling to have. That is not a feeling of confidence. That is not a feeling of being fearless. So you need to take the first step of speaking with other people who understand exactly how you feel. And that is other English speakers, other English learners. So, in my course, the Fearless Fluency Club, in our private group, you will have access to a community of motivated English learners who know exactly how that feels. That when you try to speak with someone else, you just hesitate or stumble, or your heart starts beating really fast, your palms start getting sweaty. They understand exactly how that feels. So when they speak together in Zoom groups, and there are several Zoom groups that meet every week, a lot of people also meet one-on-one. They understand how you feel, that nervousness. And when someone understands exactly how you feel, you can feel less stressed because they say, hey, yeah, don't worry. I know you're nervous. It's okay. I understand that. When you're in the same boat, which is a great expression to mean that you're both going through the same challenging circumstance, when you're in the same boat as other course members, you'll be able to improve together. This is a great way. Imagine a friend putting their arm around you and saying, you got this, I got this, we can do this together. And then moving forward and being able to improve your speaking skills together. So, one of the benefits of these Zoom groups is that you stay motivated. You know, okay, every Tuesday night, I'm going to speak with my speaking partner or my Zoom group. So, I need to gather my confidence and try my best so that on Tuesday nights, I do it. Great way to stay motivated. Every Sunday, I'm going to join Vanessa's live lesson. Yes, and just exactly like what Mamad said, the lack of confidence is the issue, but with practice, it'll be achievable. Absolutely. Yes, as they say, practice makes perfect. Or we could say practice makes better. Practice makes confidence. And that's what I would love for you. It is in my heart as a teacher to help my students. And one of the biggest things I want to help you with is overcoming that fear and becoming fearless, which is why the course is called the Fearless Fluency Club. So I would like to talk to you about what this course includes, because this is my most inclusive, biggest course that I offer. So I want to break it down for you. There are two parts. The first part are 3 separate levels. It includes my entire beginner course, intermediate course, and advanced course. This is 3 different levels. Usually each level is $200. So this is $600 value altogether. And part 2 is gigantic. 60 plus modules. Each module is for 1 month. You will have lifetime access. Don't worry. You don't need to study it in a specific period of time. I know we are all busy, but this will introduce you to 60 native English speakers. You will be able to use over 2,000 new vocabulary expressions in real conversations in the context that they were meant to be used. So here you're able to introduce yourself to the different rhythm and cadence and speaking style, and also the different topics that you can talk about. So when you're having a real conversation, if someone's talking about books that they read, no problem. You practiced that module about books. You got this. Or if someone's talking about their experience in an ambulance, they had to go to the hospital. Well, you know what? You studied the module about being a paramedic and being in an ambulance in the hospital system. You got it. No problem. So this is a great way to immerse yourself in so many different topics so that you can feel fearless and fluent when you speak about multiple topics. But I have some important information to tell you about the Fearless Fluency Club. The Fearless Fluency Club includes over 5 years of lessons. So these lessons I recommend taking your time with. This is the only English speaking course that you will need. You can study this over 5 years, over 10 years, over 1 year. This is your choice. You have lifetime access. This is my biggest bundle of English lessons, all of the course lessons that I've been making over the past 7 or 8 years. So you will have access to everything, immediate access, and you will have lifetime access to it. Usually, the full price for this course is $1,000. But right now, until midnight tonight, my time, you will have a $550 off discount. That means the total price is $450. This is only until midnight tonight. So if you go to speakenglishwithvanessa.com/live, the link that's right here, if you go to that link, then you can get this discount until midnight tonight. After 12 hours, this offer is finished. So at midnight tonight, in 12 hours, the course, this wonderful Fearless Fluency Club course with over 5 years of English lessons to immerse you in different topics, improve your vocabulary so that you can express yourself, will be finished and the discount will be over. Asterisk says, your words have sparked a strong motivation with me to step outside of my comfort zone. Congratulations, and embark on the journey of learning real English with you. Well, thank you for sharing that motivation with us. You said something really important. Step outside your comfort zone. What's your comfort zone? Well, it's probably studying vocabulary in your room, writing down words, maybe watching a movie with subtitles in your native language. That's comfortable. But to improve, which is why you are here, all 648 of you who are here live right now, your goal is to improve your English. And really, the only way to do that is to get outside of your comfort zone, like we saw. So I challenge you to get outside your comfort zone and dive deep into this. Before we go to any questions, as you're thinking about your questions, I would like to give a little shout out here to 2 students who have just joined the Fearless Fluency Club. I see Chiho Sakauchi. Thank you so much for joining the Fearless Fluency Club. I'm excited to be your teacher, guide you on this journey. And I also see Stephanie Schwab. Thank you for joining me in the Fearless Fluency Club. You're awesome. I hope that this journey will be an exciting one and also lead you to become more fearless and fluent in English. So if you have any questions for me, please write them in the chat box and I would love to answer them for you. And then after I answer a couple of your questions, or if your questions mean that we need to take a look at something else, I'm going to show you inside the course. We're going to take a look inside at what the course includes, what it looks like, and you can get a better picture for if this is a good fit for you to help you increase your confidence and be able to get a promotion, travel to the US, just live with a fluent English skill. So as you're thinking about your questions, let's go into the course. I'm going to share my screen with you if I can do that. All right, we are going to take a look at the course, the Fearless Fluency Club Unlimited. Here you can see inside the course where you will have access to, take a look at this. We've got so many topics: therapy, horses, classical music, cars, addiction, San Diego, love, books, business, vegan, donation. I can't read them fast enough. All of these wonderful people, you will be immersing yourself in a conversation with them. And this way you will be able to expand your vocabulary, expand your listening skills, and keep yourself motivated. Down here, you can also see the beginner, intermediate, and advanced level courses, which also inside that include 5 modules: weddings, public speaking, art, money, fear. Yes, a whole lesson about fear. Very exciting. So let's take a look inside one of these modules. And I will try my best to show you. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let's open up this one here about love. In fact, you will meet 2 people in this. Inside each module. Now, this module should take 1 month to study. You're welcome to study it faster, but a lot of language learning studies show us that you cannot download thousands of vocabulary words into your brain and actually use them in a week. You need to take time to study them, to review them, to use them. So here inside one lesson set, you will have access to a study guide. This is my personal study guide to give you some tips about how to use the course in the best way possible. A monthly or per lesson set guide with all of the vocabulary, all of the grammar. So we dive into phrasal verbs for each lesson, worksheets, pronunciation, bonus material. And each lesson, let's take a quick look.
Welcome to the Fearless Fluency Club.
Also includes my husband, Dan, because one of the goals here is to be able to hear chit chat back and forth and be able to understand real English. So we explain all the vocabulary, all of the phrasal verbs,
grammar lesson,
and also the pronunciation. So I will focus on specific pronunciation to help you be able to be understood and speak clearly. And each lesson includes, of course, the special conversation. In this conversation, you meet my sister-in-law, Becca, her husband, Brad, and we're talking about love. They met when they were 13 years old, I believe. Now they have 3 children together. They're in their 30s, and we talk about what is love, their relationship, tips for having a good relationship. Very teenagers. It's hard to pick. And each module also includes a story. So this is a very fun, very fun story each time. It includes all of the vocabulary, phrasal verbs, and pronunciation that you learned in the entire lesson. Oh, this one includes some bonus pictures. In the story, you will be reviewing everything that you learned in the vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and conversation, including questions that you can answer out loud and different verb tenses. So the story is switched into different verb tenses so that you can practice the grammar of verb tenses as well, which is often a tricky part of English, but this is a fun way to do it with the story. All right, let's come back here. I'm going to see if any of you have questions about the Fearless Fluency Club Unlimited, which includes all of those lesson sets. We just looked at one, but you have access to over 70. Unbelievable. And you will make so many new friends in the lessons and also in our private group. Fine May says, I love your teaching because I think you teach English to us with your real life, and I can understand your culture and daily life of an American. I think I've learned a lot up to now. Wonderful. I'm so glad you've learned a lot. This is, yes, thanks to my lessons, but also thanks to you and your motivation. You've been motivated to actually study and enjoy yourself. If you're not enjoying yourself, you're not going to continue. So I'm so glad that my lessons are enjoyable to you and you've been able to do that. If any of you have questions about the course, feel free to ask them and I will try my best to answer them. Daniel has a great question. I currently have a proficiency level of C1 in listening, but my speaking skills are more akin to the B1 level. How can I enhance my speaking abilities to reach the C1 level as well? Great question. And I think it's very normal to have a higher listening level than a speaking level. So first of all, let's talk about that, and then we'll talk about what you can do. Those input skills, we call them passive skills. You are just listening, or when you're reading, you're just reading. You're not creating language. This is easier than the active skills. The active skills of speaking, this is much trickier than listening. So it is absolutely normal that you have a higher listening level. And a lot of my students find themselves in the same situation where their speaking skills are much lower. And why is that? Well, I imagine you have a lot more experience listening to English than speaking English. You probably listen to English music, maybe podcasts, TV shows. You have a lot of listening input, but you don't have as much speaking practice. So the goal here is to be able to speak at the same level that you can listen, be able to have that C1 level, which means speaking more fluently, having the vocabulary and the words that you want to use in daily conversation. So the conclusion here is quite simple. More practice. Be able to speak with someone. I recommend all my students have one time a week where they speak English for at least minimum 15 minutes. The goal ideally would be 30 minutes or 1 hour where you're having an English conversation with someone every week. And this is what a lot of my students do in the Fearless Fluency Club. Those Zoom groups are great for being motivated, improving your skills because you're using that passive language. It's in your brain. It might just be collecting dust a bit if it's not being used. But when you use it and speak with someone else, the more that you use it, the more your level will grow. This is just the same thing you've done with listening. Lots of input grows your skills in listening. So lots of speaking practice will increase your speaking skills. So Daniel, I recommend speaking at least once a week. The goal would be for 1 hour with someone else in English. And note, it does not need to be a native English speaker. The beautiful thing here is that you can speak with an English learner or a non-native English speaker, and your skills, this is proven across the board. That means proven for everyone that your English skills can increase and grow by speaking with other English learners as well. And this is a beautiful thing. So I highly recommend finding time, carving out time. Carving out time means you're a busy guy. You need to use a knife in your schedule and find 1 hour when you can speak English every week and immerse yourself in that experience. Great motivation, but also it can be a lot of fun. We have another great question. I'm watching you from Saudi Arabia since 2019. Great. My question is that I can understand you clearly, but I can't understand native speakers in movies and news like you. Why? There's a couple reasons for that. One of them is that I'm just speaking to you here without other things going on. I'm not having a conversation in person with someone else. I guarantee if I were having a conversation with someone else, like in the Fearless Fluency Club, how I do that with another speaker, it would be trickier to understand me. But because I'm just one person, basically presenting. When I have my English lessons, I'm a teacher presenting, it's much easier to understand. But when you add an extra person, it makes it much more difficult. So a lot of my students really enjoy the lessons on my YouTube channel where I include my husband and we have a chit chat back and forth about a topic. This levels up the challenge a bit, and then adding someone else, not my husband, but another person, that levels it up again. So I recommend taking those steps. If you can understand me already, great. Watch those lessons on my YouTube channel that include Dan, my husband. It will be just a little bit trickier. And then when you join the Fearless Fluency Club, you'll get access to all of those 75 other English speakers who are talking with me. And I guarantee it will be much more challenging, but we break down those conversations so that you can really get it. It's important to be able to understand people who aren't just me, because when you get out of that airplane and you walk around LA, for example, no one is going to sound like a teacher who is going to speak because they want you to understand. Nope. You need to be working to level up those skills, understand me plus one other speaker. This is an excellent way to be able to level up your skills. So I highly recommend being able to do that, practicing listening with one other person, me plus one other person, if you can already understand me. If you just watch a TV show for a million years again and again, you're not going to just understand it like a child would. You need to practice that. You need to break it down and understand the vocabulary of it. That is what's really going to level up your skills. We had another great question here. Hajar asks, hi, Vanessa. Hope you're doing great. Thank you, Hajar. When do classes start? Is there a fixed schedule? Beautiful question. When do classes start? The classes are given to you immediately. So they are streamable, downloadable lessons. So you can log in to the course website and you can choose the topic that fits your heart the most. So let's imagine that you love horses. That is your favorite thing in the whole world. Well, guess what? We have a whole lesson about raising animals and horses. It actually features my mom. So you can go into the course website and study that lesson set about horses. You will focus on the vocabulary from that conversation, the phrasal verbs, the pronunciation, and then you can go into our private community and talk with other members about that to use what you've learned so it really sticks in your mind. This type of streamable lessons, I think, is the perfect fit for our busy lives. All of you are living all around the world, and we're not in the same time zone. We don't have the same schedules. And even for me, I have children, which means I think I know my schedule, but really it could change on a dime. On a dime means instantly. It could change at any point. One of my children becomes sick, and I can't do what I thought I could do. So having lessons available at any point means, well, I would really like to study on my lunch break every day, but my kids were sick today. So instead, I can study that lesson in the evening after they go to bed. It's very flexible and it can meet you in your busy life at any point. So yes, great question, Hajar. If anyone has any other questions, we can do that, or I will go on to my next point, which is to answer the question, who is this course for? This course is for anyone who can, first of all, understand me, but you can't understand movies or TV shows. Great. This means that you can understand the basic version of one person speaking about a topic that you get a general idea for already, but you can't understand two people having a conversation in real life. Okay, that's great. Then the Fearless Fluency Club is for you because you will be introduced to the concept and all of the vocabulary, the tips that will help you to have a real conversation like this together, chit-chatting. This course is also for students who have the motivation to be able to speak fearlessly and fluently, but right now feel like you're kind of wandering. You watch a YouTube video here, a YouTube video there. Maybe those YouTube videos are excellent. You love them, but you don't really feel like you know if you're going in the right direction. This course will give you that guidance. I think a beautiful thing about joining a course is that all of a sudden, instead of wandering from here to there or being distracted and saying, oh, now I want to watch this. Oh, now I'm going to do this. You have a path in front of you and you are able to just follow those steps towards the right direction, which is becoming fearless and fluent. You study the lessons, you join the live Sunday live streams with me every Sunday, and you meet other members in Zoom groups. This is the path that's set before you. So if you feel motivated, but you're not really sure what to do about that motivation, how to reach your goal, then the Fearless Fluency Club is for you. A lot of my students have this wonderful question. What is your refund policy, Vanessa? Well, because the course is $450, I know a lot of students say, Vanessa, this is a lot of money. How can I know if I'm not wasting my money? I want to make sure that it's actually going to work, that this course is for me, because that's a lot of money to invest in my English education. So great, good news. All of my English courses have a 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. No questions asked means you get to join the course, look at all of the lessons, and study them as much as you want. And then maybe 28 days later, you say, oh, you know what? This isn't for me. You just send me an email and say, Vanessa, I'd like a refund, please. Right away, When I see your email, I'll go in and give you a refund. You don't need to give me an explanation. You don't need to apologize. You don't need to prove that you've been studying. Just a refund no matter what. I want to make sure that you feel no risk. But you know what? I feel very confident that you will love the Fearless Fluency Club. You will be able to express yourself. You'll be able to stay motivated to learn English, and you'll meet lots of friends from around the world. So this refund policy is really to help you have peace of mind. While you have a chance to ask me some questions, I would like to take a quick look at a special feature available just for this version of the Fearless Fluency Club. I'm going to share my screen with you one more time. And all right, here is the page for the Fearless Fluency Club unlimited special discount that's happening right now. In 13 hours, the course discount will close. What happens when we click Join the Fearless Fluency Club today? Well, you'll be taken down here. Usually the course is $1,000, but right now there is a $550 off discount. So you pay $450. But what if you say, Vanessa, this is way too much money. I don't have $450 just to spend instantly on your amazing course. Guess what? Good news. There is another option. So you're welcome to just purchase the course right away. This is the best deal, $450 off the bat. Off the bat means right away. But there's also a payment plan option. You can pay $125 over 4 months. So each month you will pay $125 for 4 months. And this can make it much more affordable. Right now, about 50% of my students choose this payment plan option. I want to make it more accessible to you. Accessible means possible for you to join, because all around the world, there are different currencies, different money values, all of this. So I hope that for you, it's possible to join the Fearless Fluency Club unlimited with either the one-time payment of $450 or this payment plan. This is to help you make the decision with low risk and to be able to do this. So before we go today, I would like to know if you have any questions for me. I will try my best to answer them. And I see a lot of friends are saying, this is a wonderful experience. This is my first time with you live. Wonderful. We have a good question by John. John says, hello, is there any easy way to learn modal verbs? Modal verbs are would, should, could. I have a few videos about this on my YouTube channel, but my best tip for learning really anything, prepositions. A lot of students say prepositions are killing me, Vanessa. What do I do? Prepositions are like in, on, to, from, or modal verbs, would, could, should. The best way to learn these is really through context. So when you see these modal verbs used in a real conversation, in a real text, in a real podcast, real people speaking, your brain is doing some amazing work. It's able to sort out the rules. It's good to have a general idea of the rules, but the more that you immerse yourself in real English content, the more you're going to be able to understand how to use them. And of course, being able to use them by speaking with other people. So I highly recommend, yes, you can know the rules. You can check out those videos on my YouTube channel, but also really immerse yourself in real English so that you can hear them and get used to how they're used. All right, any other questions before we go today about how to use the Fearless Fluency Club? Any other questions that I can answer for you, or maybe anything else that's not related to just specifically the Fearless Fluency Club? Simone has a question. How many times have you taught English? So here we can ask, how long have you taught English? You know what? I'm going to write this out here. How long have you taught English? That's a great question. How long have you taught English? I've been an English teacher since 2010. So now that's 13 years. Amazing. And I've been teaching online here for about 9 years, 8 or 9 years online as your English teacher on YouTube, on my website, through courses. The Fearless Fluency Club course itself has been going on for almost 7 years. This course has been helping thousands of English students become fearless and fluent for over 7 years. A long time, a great track record. So thank you so much, everyone, for learning English with me today. I really appreciate your motivation to take time out of your busy day to learn English. If you would like to take advantage of this discount, it is only available for 12 more hours until midnight tonight. So 12 more hours, you can get this $550 off discount. If you go to speakenglishwithvanessa.com/live, this link right here, then you can get this $550 off discount. I want to give a quick shout out to 2 more friends who have joined us in the course. Stella Cigar, thank you so much for joining me. And Donna Kamal, thank you for joining me in the Fearless Fluency Club. You're awesome. I can't wait to help you on your journey to become fearless and fluent, take your English to the next level, and possibly get a promotion. Move to the US, travel easily around the world. You're on the right path. So thank you so much, everyone, today. I hope to see you in the Fearless Fluency Club. And I hope to also see you here on my YouTube channel, Speak English with Vanessa. It is my pleasure to be your English teacher, and I'll see you again the next time. Bye.